ਮਾਈ ਰੇਡੀਓ 580 AM ਤੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਦੇਸ਼ ਹੈਲੋ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਤੇ ਬੁੱਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਦੇਰ ਦੀ ਅਨਾਉਂਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸੋ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਲਿਟਲੈਂਡ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਤੋਂ ਜੋ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਜੋ ਜਨਰਲ ਨੇ ਸਲਮਾ Lakhani. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ We welcome you to our show. Thank you so much and thank you for bringing the message for Albertans today.
Thank you so much, Gulsharan and Raj. And Raj, I'd like to point out the title. My title is Lieutenant Governor. The Governor General resides in Ottawa.
Yes.
So
Lieutenant Governor, yes.
And so good morning, everyone. And it is such a great pleasure to join in marking the first anniversary of My Radio 580. This is truly a valuable service for people across our province, and it is also a wonderful way to build bridges between communities, between cultures, and most importantly, between people of all ages and from all different walks of life. Everything that we can do to connect with one another and to celebrate the rich multicultural spirit of our province helps to make all our communities so much stronger. This year in particular, it has been very important for us all to find ways to stay connected as we navigate the twists and turns of the pandemic. Stations like yours provide valuable opportunities for listeners to catch up on news developments, to share ideas, or to simply relax with some favorite music. As Her Majesty, the Queen's representative in Alberta, I would like to offer my gratitude to everyone who has contributed to this station's first year on air. Thank you for sharing your energy, your talents, and your passion for radio broadcasting. And I know it's been a very successful year. Right, Gulsharan?
Yes, it is.
I would also like to offer my heartfelt thanks to those listening who have been working on the front lines of the pandemic and all those who have been stepping up to help vulnerable members of our communities. You are an important part of our very long-standing tradition of grassroots volunteerism. And I'd like to point out here that all my volunteer work was at the grassroots. And I strongly believe that grassroots is where the work really happens. So one of my mandates is to shine a spotlight on grassroots volunteers like yourselves who bring communities together. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Your willingness to reach out and make a difference in the lives of others exemplifies the best of the Alberta spirit, and our province is a much better place because of your contributions. Now, with that, I'm hoping that our hosts can share with me a little bit of how this great radio station came to be. Perhaps we could have a little chat about the people who are at the helm of this and ideas behind My Radio 580. Also, I'd like to know what your listenership is, your audience, and share with me some of the highlights that have happened over the last year, maybe one or two, time permitting.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you so much for having me on as a guest.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have you here, ma'am, and we appreciate your time and the effort you have made to be here and give us this gratitude and this very important message for the community. This is very important for us and the community at large. This radio vision started in 1996. I started as a volunteer, 15 minutes program on CKER. And then we saw the need in the community for the radio station. And since that I was, and then Raj joined me in 2002. We were integral part of broadcasting in South Asian community. We had a different radio station. First we have a specialized radio station where we have to buy a specialized radio set to receivable radio for many, many years. Then the community grew out of that, and we felt a bigger need, and the open air open air radio station for the community. And then application was called in 2015, and we applied for this license through CRTC. There was 13 applicants. We were the only local applicant. Rest of the applicants were from BC, Toronto, Calgary, and other cities. And this 580 AM station was once upon a time was CKUA radio. They let go of it. Now they have FM station in all the cities in Alberta. Most of the cities in Alberta, they have pretty good network for FM stations. And this 580 is the most powerful AM station, which can cover coast to coast in Alberta, almost covering 90% of Alberta. And we took that opportunity and applied for this license. And with the God's grace and the help from the community, we were granted this license. And then it took us a couple of years to find a proper place to set up a huge infrastructure, the tower site and all that. Then we co-site this with the new technology came in the meantime, that you can co-site AM station nowadays. So we partnered with the CBC radio in Leduc, Nisku, and now we are co-siting with the CBC AM channel. So we are the partner with the CBC. We are sharing the same towers with them. And as of our team, right now we are 17 people full-time, 9 full-time and the rest part-time. And we are covering 90% of Alberta in 17 different languages.
Oh, wow.
And we have a fastest growing communities, South Asian, Filipino, and Cantonese and Mandarin. And we have a Arabic program as well. We have a Spanish program. We have Gujarati. We have Bengali. We have so many different languages we are covering here. And we are very happy to have this. And this is the example that you have just mentioned. I started that volunteer program on CKER in 1995, and that developed into this operation now, this radio station.
Yes, which is wonderful, and it's such a success story. And you know what? I wish you many, many, many more wonderful years. And
thank you very much.
Building year upon year upon year and successful, and you will increase your listenership. And this is wonderful. And one of the things I'd like to say is during the pandemic, I want to request all of your listeners to do whatever it takes to keep safe.
Yes.
Whatever it may be, whether it's vaccines, whether it's masking, please keep safe. But I also want to say that it is, we are made richer by all the diverse communities that make up our province and our country. And I want to request all your listeners to talk about their culture, who they are, where they come from, with people who do not know about their culture. Encourage your friends to listen to some of the music that you put on air. This is how we grow who we are. It's no point just sharing it with people who are from our background, from our culture, who look like us, speak like us. But in order for other people to learn about the diverse communities that make up Alberta, I think we have to share the richness, and we have to, every day, I say, be proud of who you are.
Yes.
And share the best of who you are with your fellow Albertans. And don't let anybody change you.
Definitely.
Don't try and fit into a mainstream mold.
Yes.
You are special enough as you are. Be proud of it and share that.
Well said. Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
We applaud that. Thank you.
And that's what it take you to the position where you are today. We really appreciate it. And I was reading a little bit about you, your family background, and then you guys came to, you and your husband, you guys were in England, then moved to Canada. So your family has a very long struggle to achieve what you have achieved at this time.
Yes. And my appointment, whilst I'm very humbled to be the first of many.
Yes.
And I know I won't be the last South Asian and the last Muslim and the last person in a vice-regal office born outside of Canada.
Yes.
But I have to say that this was never something that I aspired to. It was never something that I thought would be part of my journey, but it is the story of Canada.
It is.
Canada, when people look at Canada from outside, they talk of Canada as a country of hope and promise.
Yes.
I know things are not the very best and the best they could be. So we all have to work hard
Yes.
at making that hope and that promise felt by more and more people, you know. And I must tell you a very short story. I was in Africa a few years ago, which is my place. I was actually in Uganda, where I was born. And I went to a market, a cultural market, and I was buying something from a vendor. And, you know, there the literacy rate is very high. So
Yes.
this lady was communicating with me in English, and I said to her, you know, I was born here, so in Africa, and even in our culture sometimes when you say I was born here, they immediately call you sister.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
brother or whatever.
Right.
Yes.
So she said, so where do you live now, sister? This was in 2016, and I said, I now live in Canada.
Canada.
And she said to me, do you live anywhere close to the fires? And
Okay.
remember, we had forest fires.
Yes.
We had fires in Fort McMurray.
Yes.
2016,
Yes.
April. She had heard of it in this in Uganda. They had heard of the forest fires
In Canada and Alberta.
Fort McMurray.
Yes.
Now, can you imagine that? So I was shocked. I said to her, you've heard of the fires here? And she said to me, look, in this part of the world, we look at Canada as a place where nothing bad happens.
Yes.
We have the rule of law, we have security, which a lot of these countries don't have.
Don't have,
We
yes.
have the right to vote, we have the right freedom of speech. So she said, but when something bad happens, whether it's a natural disaster or whatever, we hear about it. But for us, Canada is a place where nothing bad happens.
Nothing bad happened.
And
Yes.
this is what people think of Canada.
People aspire to come to Canada from all over the world.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So we should try and keep that image of Canada and live with Canadian values, our own cultural values as well as Canadian
Yes.
values. That is what we are so admired for around the world.
Another
Yes.
question I will ask you, as a woman, you have achieved and you're a very humble and beautiful person. What would you say to the young women who are listening to our show today?
Well, I hope that I have opened the door for a lot of young women.
Yes.
And I have to tell all the young women, first of all, just because you are a woman, don't let anybody ever say to you, you are not enough because you are a woman. You are a woman. Women are changing the world, and they have changed the world, they're continuing to change the world, and they will going forward. So believe in yourself and just be yourself, put your best foot forward, and never think that, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And I have to tell you, when I got the call from PMO saying that I was being considered for this position, my first response was, you have the wrong person. They called me and said, look, there are a few names, and do you want your name to stand? And then they gave me a couple of days to think about it.
Okay.
Because I was very overwhelmed. And it was my husband who said to me, why are you doubting? Why do you think you can't do this? So I have learned something, that be your authentic self, put your best foot forward, and you will reach great heights. Don't let anybody tell you that as a woman, you're not enough. Women are breaking glass ceilings, and they will continue to break glass ceilings going forward.
Your Honor, I forgot to mention one thing. On my radio, 80% the workforce here is the women.
Yes.
So
Mashallah,
this is
that-
true.
That is amazing.
And
Yes.
that's the true picture of Canada,
Canada,
too.
yes.
Canada has given us the opportunities which we did not get at the other part of the world where we all are from. This is the place to be. And yeah, I know that sometime, as we were talking before,
Yes.
we do see some things are missing. The political things are happening here and there. But at the end of the day, Canada is a beautiful place to live for the opportunities and for the well-being of human beings.
Yes, no, you're right. And you know, we, as I said, we all have to work a little bit harder to make this promise and hope be felt by more and more people, you know. So
thank you very much.
No,
thank you for your time, and we are graced with your presence here, and we are honored to have you here, ma'am. And this is a joyful moment for us, and you make it more joyful with your presence. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's my honor and pleasure to be here, and I wish you lots and lots of success.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back after some messages and a break. And ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਈ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਲੈਫਟੀਨੈਂਟ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਆਫ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ, ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਸ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ, ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ, ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਰਸਨੈਲਿਟੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਖਿੱਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਿਰਫ ਪਿਕਚਰ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਹੋਰ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸੁਣਨੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਆਲ ਵੈਰੀ ਲੱਕੀ ਟੂਡੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਲਿਸਨਰ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ, ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਔਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ। ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।